Hey everyone, you're listening to Nerd Boys Comic Blog. I'm Marco.
I'm Charles.
And today we're doing our Spoilercast for Stranger Things Season 2.
Spoilercast?
Spoilercast, spoiler discussion, review, / open discussion.
If you haven't seen it by now, you have no excuse. I'm someone who's late with stuff and I've seen it.
Yes, so if you haven't seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably click off right now. Or if you're someone who just doesn't care about spoilers, listen away.
And if you wasn't one of the 900,000 people that watched it within the first 24 hours of it being released, then, I mean, what are you doing?
And if you accidentally watch Season 1 all over again because you're just one of those people, too bad for you.
I mean, I don't know why they would have done that. I mean, it would
apparently it's a thing that happened a lot.
Yeah, actually, wow.
We did that on accident, but I immediately picked up on the fact that it was the first season. As soon as it said 1983, I was like, wait, the new one's 1984. Let me go back.
And crazy enough, like, the reason why I said 900,000, because I was reading this article, but seeing one of those, fact, like, pages on Instagram, they was like, it was over, like, 900,000 people that, like, watched Stranger Things Season 2 within the first 24 hours of it being released. I was like, wow.
That's quite a lot of people.
Day 1099 is getting put to good use.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd say I liked it better than the first season. But, like, the first season was such a surprise and a treat because I had no idea what the heck it was about. It was just one of those random things I watched on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, when I first... did I watch it? Like, what drew my attention to that?
I think I just watched it because it said new. And I was like, oh, new?
Yeah, because, like, it didn't really blow up like that at first. It's like all cult things, like, where a small group of people know. But because the internet exists now, everyone knows it exists.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like... It wasn't that... It didn't have a big following, so I just checked it out and see how it was. And, I mean, I fell in love with it. Like, Season 1 was one of those things where it was like, wow, this is good. I like it. I want to know more about what's going on.
Yeah, and it really blew up, like, July of last year. It's been a very long wait for this season, but also kind of worth it.
Oh, yes. I mean, like, because, honestly, the 9 episodes, besides one, which, I mean, we can get into a little bit later, like... I mean, I didn't have a problem with that one episode, but, like, the entire season was good. And it literally, pretty much, you could say it picked up where it left off at, where it was, like, a year later. It wasn't, like, some, like, weird, like, straight-to-DVD kind of, like, home video movie where it's like, wait a minute, this just don't seem right. This is not the same universe. Like, it literally is like, hey, these are the same people, same situation that's going on. Yes, the situation that was happening with Will, that's still going on. Like, it's not something that just, like, left.
Yeah, it's a continuation. I've said this on Facebook, but it's the aliens to Season 1's Alien.
Yes.
And it raises the stakes. You have a lot of creatures now instead of just one, and other things that happen throughout the season.
Yeah, and every episode, like in the first season, it just was a cliffhanger. He was like, I have to know more. I have to keep going. Like, it was 9 episodes, and, I mean, they ranged from, like, 45 minutes to an hour, and binge watching it wasn't, like, an issue, like, because I had to finish it in 2 days, because, like, I got home from work one night, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm just going to watch this. And then I ended up finishing it the next day when I had to take some time off from work, but it was worth it.
Oh yeah, Season 2 was definitely worth the wait. It built upon everything established in the first season. It raised the stakes. The writers definitely had this big reaction to the fans. And this season definitely feels like it's built upon fan reaction to the show. There's a big response to how fans reacted to certain characters like Barb, who got very little attention in the show itself. The kids have a lot more going on. The love triangle between the teenagers has more stuff going on with it. There's more Joyce than I would have expected. A lot of this is pretty much just fan service, done in a way that's more respectable than other types of fan service, where it's just like, it's very obvious and cheesy and fake. But Season 2 feels pretty much like a very faithful and honest continuation, and you can tell, like, the Duffer Brothers really were cracking down on this show before Season 1 even came out, and, like, they took that and then they also took in consideration, like, what some of the fans were saying on the internet, and they had kind of formed this out of those two places, out of a place of just no reaction and then, like, massive reaction. And I feel like it did pretty well of just, handling the story and really telling something that was, like, worth binge watching for, like, 9 hours straight. All the episodes, except maybe episode 7, were pretty great, and they felt necessary. It was a tight wound story, and very much like Season 1, it rewards fans. It rewards viewers for binge watching it rather than watching it weekly. And that's something that's really great about the show. It's designed for the Netflix model. Plus, I liked 2 of the 3 new characters they added to the show. It was perfect that the season came out around Halloween, so it was just spooky enough to watch during the Halloween season, and still kind of being a little bit more kid-friendly, but PG-13 kid-friendly, or PG-16, kind of. And it kind of speaks to a lot of movies from the 80s where it's just like right on the border between like PG-13 and R, or just has enough to like spook out the kids, but at the same time entertain and kind of spark up your imagination, which is another great aspect of the show. Imagination, being a kid, nostalgia for that, and also at the same time kind of like coming of age. The show kind of runs the whole gambit of like growing up, being a teenager, and facing the difficulties of life, which I think I'm just getting too big into like the themes of the show without really talking about like the things I liked. So do you want to do a little part that I like to call remember that part? Wasn't that cool?
Okay.
So remember that part when Will totally vomited a polywog into the sink, and Dustin ended up finding that like a year and a half later?
Yeah, which was kind of weird.
Well, no, more like just 10 months later.
Yeah, but you know what? It's probably not even the same thing. No, it probably was, because it did have like the little yellow markings.
Yeah, it's a little polywog. They didn't really multiply until later, when they became gremlins.
Yeah. Never should have touched it with water.
Or fed it that cat.
Yeah, oh God. Like, honestly, when I seen that, I was just like, wow. Like, when he first found it, from the get-go, I was like, that's not cool. It's probably some weird, like, thing from, like, Upside Down. What are you doing, Dustin? And as weird as this may sound, as I'm now thinking about it, each one of these characters has something going on with them, which annoyed me.
Yeah, everyone kind of had that thing of, except for Mike. Mike really did, well, Mike had other problems. I just remembered some of his problems.
Like, I wish you could see my face right now, people. He was like, oh, Mike didn't have no problems. Like, I'm going to let you continue yourself, okay? Before I take the mic from you. Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah. Dustin had things going on that you got mad about. Mike had stuff going on. Lucas, not really. Not that much.
Yeah, like Lucas, I would say he was like, for instance, first season, Dustin was the coolest person ever.
Yeah.
This season, I have to give that like hat off to Lucas. Like Lucas, he was like the most coolest character. He was more accepting than everyone else, and it's funny because say that again.
Because he wasn't so accepting at first.
I mean, he wasn't, but it grew to a point where, like, him and Dustin were kind of arguing about Maxine, about, you know, I mean, they both liked her. Of course, they're kids. That's something that naturally happens. But then you could see, like, as time went on, Dustin was being a jerk towards her. Like, oh, like, dude, you can't get, like, be happy for your friend who got the girl. Like, don't be upset because you didn't get the girl. Like, speak from personal experience of that happening. Like, it really irritates me. Like, why can you not be, you guys supposed to be friends. Like, that's supposed to be cool. But also, Will, he should have been able to trust his friends more and to tell them what was going on with him. Like, dude, these are your friends. These are your boys. Like, why can't you talk to them about that? Like, is it that bad that you feel like as if everyone's going to look at you weird? These are your D&D friends. If you don't tell anybody else, I mean, first of all you guys are playing D&D. Coming from a geek, that's weird. So, like...
Not too weird, though.
I mean, I say it because I don't really understand the concept of it, and I don't see enjoyment from it, so that's why I call it weird. But at the same time, these are your friends. You guys have a pact together. I mean, you guys, you should be able to tell them anything. And it honestly, that's one of the things that kind of irritated me about this group, where it felt like everyone was left out of something.
Yeah.
And then, like,
there were little cliques throughout the season of character interactions
amongst friends. Like, for instance, freaking Dustin and what's his name?
Steve.
Yeah, I love that little, like, you know, little team part. Like, that was so totally cool. The most annoying character, and I was actually having this discussion with somebody else, and they thought I was gonna say Winona Ryder's character. Like, no, I understand where she came from. Like, you know, I'm not a parent. Well, technically I am. I have 2 cats, but like as a father, like I understand where she's coming from. Where I'm afraid because I don't know what could happen to my baby, so I have to sit there and watch him at all times. And I understand that. Like, I'm not gonna be upset at that. What kind of sucks is his brother, who was supposed to have been kind of close, just left with the girl that he likes. It was just like, we'll be gone for a couple of days. That was kind of weird.
They were gone for like a day, but the show made it feel like it was like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it kind of did. But like, Mike was so freaking annoying. Like, yes, dude, we understand that you love 11, but you ain't gotta take that out on everybody else.
Especially Maxine.
And then he's like, oh no, you no, first of all, she don't even know who 11 is. So if you're trying to think that she's trying to replace her, she don't. Then second of all, what is this issue that you have where you she's trying to join your group? To me, I'm one of those people. As if our group is tightly put together, let's check if someone else want to enter our group, no matter how weird it is. Let's just put them through the trials. And because she was a girl, he didn't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah, he was pretty much Lucas of last season.
Yeah,
because Lucas was the one who was anti anyone else adding into the group.
Yeah,
especially a girl. And this season was all Mike, just being like, oh, Max can't be in the group. Max isn't one of us. She's not one of the original 4. And we're 5 party members, actually, because 11. But she's gone now.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Hopper and 11?
Yeah. I love that father-daughter, combination. It's one of those things where, it's funny because my girlfriend, she was trying to watch season 2 with me. I'm like, no. We would have to sit down and rewatch season 1 and then watch season 2 for you to understand certain things that take place.
Yeah, it's a really good natural progression of everything.
Yes,
and to just jump into season 2, it would be way too confusing.
No, it would be very difficult. For instance, you have to know one of those, and it's one of those things where if you didn't hear it, you would have completely not know what happened. And there was a situation where you find out about Hopper and his daughter and everything that happened, and it comes to show you the reason why he's so protective of 11. And it's funny because he's one of those dads, most people in his situation, when she used her powers, they would freak the fuck out. He's like, no. He was like, hey, what did I tell you about using your powers?
Hey, what do you expect? He's Hellboy.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, in that situation, you expect someone to freak out. No, he's being a typical father of, a psychic,
Psychic daughter.
Yeah.
If Carrie was going through that preteen phase...
And her dad was around. Hey, what did I tell you? No using your powers in the house. We've had this discussion. You know what? I'm taking the Legos away from you. You can't do that. Zzz. Hey, I'm taking away for a week. Don't make me make it 2 weeks.
Or it's kind of like a Grand Moff talking in Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It's what did I tell you about choking people?
Yeah. But Dad.
No more TIE fighters for you.
But their relationship, I loved it. A character that we have to talk about, and I feel bad for, Bob the Brain.
Bob Newby, superhero, and just all around a good guy.
Not all hero wear capes.
No. Some of them actually were hobbits before.
Yes.
Some heroes.
And I feel
Or Goonies.
Yeah. And I felt so bad for his character. I was like, oh man, this is great. And I seen it coming. It wasn't he's a throwaway character. From the moment that I seen him, I'm like, he's a throwaway character.
He's the new boyfriend introduced in the sequel just to die.
What confirmed my theory, and it not from the fact that he died that didn't confirm it, but the fact that
your first hunch.
No, from the first moment that I met him, I knew he was a throwaway character. I'm like, he's that lovable guy. I hate to say this, but we all need that Barb. We all need that Barb each season.
Yeah.
But what confirmed it was their interactions between Will's mom and Hopper.
Oh, yeah.
The moment I seen that, I was just like, wait a minute. Nothing about this was sad. Maybe I didn't pay attention enough where they mentioned, in season 1. But, when I noticed it, Daniel, and they were like, hey, you remember when you smoked cigarettes? I was like, oh, sorry, Bob. You're not going to last long.
Either that or they were going to kill off Hopper because...
No, they're not killing off Hopper.
David Harbour, he's cast as Hellboy.
They're not killing off... No. They were
I was worried that scheduling conflict between shooting, filming...
It's one of those things. He's too important of a character to kill off. If they do kill him off, very last season. That's Probably. The only way I see it happen.
Or second to last.
Nah, very last season. He's too important.
But speaking of Bob, it's played by Sean Astin.
Yeah.
He was... the big moment that telegraphs it is when he's like, do you even know how to operate a computer? And he's the one who offers to go out there to reset the entire system.
I knew it was going to happen then. And the moment that you like, oh, he's about to get ready to get away. It's funny. I had so many theories then. And I remember we had a discussion and you were like, oh yeah, there's one human character that's a villain. And I kept looking for that one human character, and I guess you was probably talking about like Max, like stepbrother.
Yeah, I was talking about him.
Yeah, I didn't see he. As weird as this may sound, he was just another character to me.
Yeah. Well,
And,
to
like,
me, he was kind of like a antagonist for the Steve character.
Yeah, well, antagonist even for the kids, like, but like I see it as in their situation. What's like, even though there's a lot of drama going on, what matters to me most it's what's going on that involves the Upside Down. I seriously thought, and you could call me crazy for even thinking this, even when like they zoomed in on him as he's getting eaten out by like the like
Wait, eaten out?
yeah. I mean, he was getting okay. I'm sorry, that was very inappropriate. I realize I have children in the room with simple minds, but no, when he was getting devoured by those demi-dogs.
Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, the way they zoomed in on him. When you told me there was a human villain, I didn't think about like, you know, in the sake of like these are humans dealing with like, you know, real human situations.
Yeah, man versus man or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking of man versus like whatever comes from the Upside Down. And I seriously thought like Bob being introduced that like he had something to do with the Upside Down.
Like he was with Joyce to get to Will.
Yes. And I seriously thought that. And
I actually
was
thought
like,
he was because he was really into cameras and stuff. I thought he was like setting up bugs in their house like to record them, but I was like, wait, it's the 80s. It's probably like way too advanced.
No, that's not,
No, like a concealable camera.
No, well, yeah, that's probably. I mean, wait a minute. Didn't he? No. Well, yeah, concealable camera. But even Hopper in the last season, he went through his whole house because he knew there was bugs.
But that was
there.
just audio.
Yeah, but I mean, I figured either that was going to happen or like there was a couple of theories that was running through my head. Like you said, you know, he was probably working with like whatever that weird organization was, or like the fact that like in a bigger picture, he had something to do with the Upside Down, where he was like the human, like, you know, he was like the Voldemort, where like he was like the living entity of like that great evil, or what they call him, and
The Mind Flayer.
yeah, the Mind Flayer. Like he was like, you know, either the Mind Flayer in the human form, and he was like, no, I need a new host. And for Will to have, you know, crossed over and been over for so long, that's what made him a perfect candidate. And I was just like, man, I'm like, this dude, Bob. But that didn't play out that way. Kind of wish it did.
It would have been interesting, but I'm glad things kind of happened the way they did.
Oh, where just like Bob just died off and that was it?
Yeah, well, he was written off to die like in episode 4 or something, like just to get killed off.
Yeah.
And I guess they gave him like 4 more episodes, just just so we could love him a little bit more, because he's played by such a great guy.
Yeah, not only that, like his character, it's one of those. Like I said, I knew he was going to die, and it was a little painful to know, like, okay, he's going to go at any given second right now. When is it going to happen?
Yeah, and now we have our new Barb, so justice for Bob.
Yeah, I see those hashtag justice for Bob.
Barb is like the Boba Fett of Stranger Things. She's like barely in the show, has no lines,
But everyone
dies,
loves her.
and everyone loves her.
No, and you know, honestly, it sucks because like, as I seen this one ad where you probably know which one I'm talking about with the pop figures.
Oh yeah,
they had Barb on there, but no Lucas, and I'm like, what in the world are you doing, Target? Like, where's Lucas?
yeah. But the second wave are, I saw a Funko Pop doll with Lucas, but they have so many variations of Barb. They have upside down Barb and like regular Barb,
Upside down Barb.
like dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was appropriate enough. I mean, is she getting any kind of royalties about this?
I don't know. I felt bad for her. Well, Andrea felt bad for her because she had to take a lot of old pictures. Mm-hmm. Like, she had to take pictures as Barb, the actress, did.
Yeah.
Just to fill up that house.
Hey, she's still getting paid for it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, I don't think she came in on volunteer work.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the 2 good things Nancy did this season?
Break up with Steve and get with Jonathan.
And the second good thing would be, well, technically the third, would be
I counted
getting
that as
justice
2
for
things.
Barb.
Hashtag justice for Barb.
Yeah. No, but like actually giving closure to her parents.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I seriously thought that like they were going to do something foolish, and they surprised me.
Yeah, it was like they've been fumbling all throughout season 1, like not knowing really how to deal with like a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
The kids dealt with it. So like they have very little, I want to say, accomplishments in the series so far, except for like that one subplot with Barb.
And then not only that, she gave Dustin a dance.
Yeah, so she did 4 good things this season.
Yeah, I'm proud of her. Jonathan, he's Will's brother. That's all I can say.
He's I don't want to say a freak, but he's not a geek.
Yeah. Now, the conspiracy theorist, very weird character. I enjoyed him. I actually, I was surprised at how well, because when they first introduced him, of course, in the first episode, I'm just like, who is this guy? He's probably some throwaway character. Little did I know. Nope, he kind of helped plays, a bigger part for Barb.
Yeah.
Getting justice for her.
And he's like that close to uncovering 11, but then not really.
Yeah, he's so far apart. When they kept mentioning Russians, I'm like, yeah.
This is so 80s.
You could, yeah. And I love that feel because, back then, everything, well, even now, everything's still about the Russians. Let it go. But what was my pet peeve this season, and I thought should not have been given an entire episode?
Was Callie?
Yes. Number 8.
Yeah. I felt like 11, her thing could have automatically ended with her mother getting closure with her mom. She didn't need to go see a sister.
No.
She didn't know. Her episode 7, derails so much from the first 6 episodes. Because it's funny, Andre and I binge watched the first 6, restarted at 7, and it killed the momentum. Everything was just off. Yeah. And then the last 2 episodes are your big 2 episodes finale.
I stopped at, what was it, 4 or 5? I stopped at 5. I was going to get started with 5, then I stopped, caught up a day later, and 5, I started from the beginning. It was picked back up. I'm good. 6 was amazing. 7 was when they introduced her and she went to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just why was this needed?
Well, you know why it was needed. This is season 3 bait.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where she could have been shown, she could have been introduced, it could have been told, hey, there's a sister out there.
Yeah. I mean, from the very first scene of the very first episode of season 2, I was I don't like that they're introducing this character, because I know when they visit her again, I'm not going to like that episode because she's so disconnected from the plot already.
Yes. And like I said, it's one of those things where if you want to make it more interesting, you could have just left it at, they explained something that I really didn't want the answer to just yet.
Yeah.
You could have introduced that into season 3.
Yeah. This reminds me of the scene from BVS. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's okay.
This reminds me of that scene from BVS where, they just have the files of all the Justice League.
Yeah.
It's just that, but for Stranger Things.
It could have been done where they just, hey, she has a sister, met up with her mom, did the whole, tried to speak to her. Mom showed that there was another girl in the room. And then it could have been just I gotta find her, but I got other things to do. Went, did those other things, dealt with closing the Upside Down, season end.
Made amends with Hopper.
Made us sit there and think, as I guess we're the watchers. Yes. As the audience, what about her sister? Because, honestly, the way I see it now, they literally tied up everything. And there's no big hey, what's going on at the end of this?
Yeah, we already met her. She's an asshole.
Season 1, when season 1 ended, it ended with Will puking up a freaking larva from the Upside Down. So it's just whoa, what's going on? Then we deal with, is 11 still alive? If she not, why is he leaving Legos in some box in the woods? Those questions, and they answered all those questions. I'm glad, but you didn't give us anything to wonder about for season 3. You didn't leave any breadcrumbs. You didn't leave any what ifs or here goes some things for you to speculate about for another year and a half to 2 years to figure out what's going on. All we know is okay, Upside World exists, and I guess the mind.
Mind Flayer?
He's still the Mind Flayer. I knew he was still out there. First of all, I never believed he fully put himself into Will. To me, it was just I treated it as if he was Voldemort. He just put a piece of himself in there.
Yeah,
and that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I think the series creators, the Duffer Brothers, they were really this is our Voldemort for the next few seasons. He's going to come back. Yeah. And stuff is going to get real when he does come back.
And I was really expecting something else. I was not.
Yeah. Well, I kind of... It's mixed feelings because they left on such a happy note for the season because everyone is together for the first time, ever. Because, like, Will's back, Eleven's back, everyone's alive, everyone's happy. And we have new characters, too, like Max. Mm-hmm. And Billy might still be a jerk, but he might have a cool thing with Steve later on. We don't know.
I mean, that's even if he's, like, even introduced in season 3.
Yeah, but, oh, jeez. You want to talk about Maxine and Billy for a second?
So, Maxine and Billy, it was really nice to see these two characters being introduced. Like, honestly, it was one of those things where it was like, it kind of caught me off guard for a little bit, because it was like, one, where did they even come from? And it's like, what part are they going to play in the story? And seeing how, like, Billy is, like, such a jerk, but seeing how he interacts with, like, Lucas, it was just one of those, oh.
Because he just points at Lucas, like, I don't want you hanging around those kids. And you think, like, oh, he knows about 11, he knows all the stuff that the kids have been doing. But it's really just him being racist.
Yeah, like, I didn't want to come out and say it, but, like, he seemed like it, and, like, it hinted very hard, but I didn't want to be like, yeah, you know, he's pretty racist. I'm just like, what is with this dude? Like, what is his problem? Yeah. I'm like, and now it's, like, even worse, because it's like, your sister loved this guy. Like, yeah, they're not, I mean, it's the 80s. They're probably going to stick together. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, from episode 1 and 2, it's like they have this weird relationship where it's like, she's not my sister. So, like, is Max secretly, like, 9? Like, in, like, 8, 9, and 10, 11, all that stuff? Like, is she another experiment kid?
You know what? I didn't get that hint from her, because she seemed pretty normal.
Yeah, she did.
Like, she didn't seem like a weirdo. Like, even number 8, whatever her name was.
Callie?
Yeah, like, she seemed like a weirdo.
Yeah, she seemed like she lived in a lab for most of her life.
Yeah, like, even at the beginning of that episode where they showed, like, the beginning of the first episode with the car scene chase, like, she seemed like a weirdo. But, yeah, like, I didn't get that feeling from, like, Max. Now, with Max and Billy, it's just that I'm like, okay, I didn't know what kind of relationship they had. I didn't know if they were, like, siblings or, like, some weird, awkward relationship. But then when he was like, yeah, you know, when they actually did explore more, I'm like, okay, yeah, he is a jerk.
Yeah, he's just an asshole. He's not evil. He's just one of those jerks that you meet in real life.
Yeah, and I can't stand that dude. Like, he's a jerk. Like, yeah. I can't stand him. And he is a horrible human being. Yeah.
He's everything they intended Steve to be last season.
Oh.
But, like, Steve became, like, the best guy in this whole show.
And it's funny because, like, at the beginning of, like, in season 1, I hated Steve, but he grew up on you, and it's like, you know what? He deserves the girl. I'm sorry, Jonathan, but, you know, things work out. And then in this season, like, it comes to show you, like, you know, what happens when there's, like, that one bully who, like, get, like, you know, shown, like, hey, you're not that special. You need to calm down. And it's hilarious because, like, I like how Steve is literally thrown off his, like, throne. And you got this jerk taking over. And then not only that, but your girl get taken away from you by a guy that you least expected.
And now you're the stepdad to, like, all these new kids.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But also, I was on the Donna Nonsense podcast a while back. So, okay. Yeah, I'm stealing this line from Matt. Last season, Nancy was too good for Steve. This season, Steve is too good for Nancy.
Wow, I never heard that.
But it's very true.
It is.
And that shows character progression right there.
Yes, like, because, I mean, Steve, to me, this season, I hated the fact, like, you know, he was being beaten up, he was being thrown out, and then it's like he lost Nancy, but it didn't, like, destroy him as a character. He's like, oh, it's like, he was like, you know what, I gotta keep moving. Like, that didn't, like, destroy, like, who he was. He was just like, nope, I gotta keep it moving, I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna be the man. And to see the way he interact, like, you know, about, like, this whole, like, Demogorgon situation, I seriously hope, like, the, like, next season is more of like, oh no, we solved this problem, but, like, deep down he's like, no, I know it's gonna be a bigger problem, and he makes more bats. He actually come up with some kind of weird armor. He's like, no, I've been preparing for this.
Yeah, like him and Dustin are like coming together on the weekends and be like, okay, we got a plan for the next Demogorgon thing because we know it's coming.
Yeah, like Demogorgon hunters. Like, they become, like, you know, the Sam and Dean.
Oh, that'd be great. Steve with his mentor position to little Dustin.
If you don't know, we're getting distracted by watching Andrea play Minecraft. This is very interesting.
I can tell why kids really like watching other people play it on YouTube.
Yeah. Just seeing what they're digging themselves into.
Yeah. What new holes will the Stranger Things kids dig themselves into?
You know what's funny? There's actually a skin pack for Stranger Things for Minecraft.
Are we just promoting Minecraft right now?
I mean, I guess we could. It was a tie-in.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag hopefully we get sponsored. Because I guess that's the only way YouTubers make money nowadays.
Oh, that and Patreon.
Yeah. God, YouTube, what did you do?
Any other Stranger Things you want to talk about?
What?
Steve and Billy might be gay.
You know what? It wouldn't have passed my mind. Because, like, he always
Wait,
looked
can
at
you
it.
just restate that for the microphone?
Well, okay. Andrea just said that Billy might be gay. And it's one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised. Because, like, that self-love that he always have for himself. And it could be one of those things where, you know, he's probably expressing himself as this, you know, big hot shot. But you never know. He might be. But that scene...
The shower scene?
Yes. Or like she gets out the shower and Billy's there. He like, hey, I'm looking for my sister. Classic 80s, like, you know, macho scene. Like just the way he was just there. He got like that, like, is that even a mullet? Just that weird hair.
It's big 80s hair. That's what it is. It's just luxurious.
And I promise you, if her husband was not in the room, which I mean, probably wouldn't even have bothered. Like he was just like, yeah.
Yeah, but I was also talking about the locker room shower scene.
Oh, like he kept, yeah.
We're just messing with Steve.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. I was like, what in the hell is going on here?
It was almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 levels of homoeroticism. I got this thing inside of me.
But no, you never know. But I think that's pretty much it for Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
All around a good show. If you haven't watched it yet, sorry we spoiled everything for you.
I mean, honestly, if you haven't watched it and you're listening to this, that means you have no intentions of watching it.
Yeah, but if you did watch the show, you can also share your opinions with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear everything you have to say about Stranger Things too.
If you want to hear us talk about something and our discussion on it, just go ahead and be like, hey, why don't you guys talk about this? And we'd be like, you know what? Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, and hopefully we're not distracted with Minecraft again.
Yes. And you know what? That's what I was actually thinking, like, maybe we could possibly slightly talk about gaming in here.
Oh yeah, because you did buy Mario Odyssey.
Yes. Oh God, that's a very lovely game. Maybe one day we can sit down and talk about it.
Yeah. Have you finished the game yet?
Story wise, yes. Collecting moons, I think there's 999 of them.
Do you have enough of a thing that you'd want to talk about in another episode?
Anything or just
I mean, Mario related?
possibly.
Possibly.
Pokemon.
Or Pokemon. Or Nintendo related in general.
Yeah, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I'm not a Nintendo fan and hate everything else. It's just that I follow Pokemon wherever it goes, and it just so happened Nintendo is owned by Pokemon. If Nintendo was owned by PlayStation, I would be probably a PlayStation fan, but it's not. So I go wherever the wind takes me with Pokemon.
Alright, I think that's going to be it for today on Nerd Boys Comic Blog. I'm Marco.
I'm Charles.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.